You know, the world of work is changing faster than ever before. That old idea of a stable, lifelong career, it's kind of fading away. Instead, we all have to constantly adapt and keep learning, which brings up a really important question for every single one of us. I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Are the skills you have right now going to be the skills you need in 5 years? Or even two? This isn't just some far off thought experiment anymore. Huge shifts are happening right now, and they're being driven by a few really powerful forces. First up, the massive switch to remote work. It's completely changed our relationship with the office, with our coworkers, with everything. It's changed how we collaborate for sure, but it's also changed how we learn. You know, that learning you do just by being around other people? Yeah, that's a whole lot harder to do through a laptop screen. And at the very same time, AI has officially left the sci-fi movies and landed in our workplaces. It's automating tasks and totally reshaping jobs. But listen, the challenge here isn't about being replaced. The real game is figuring out how to work with these incredibly powerful new tools. And if that wasn't enough, the gig economy just keeps getting bigger. Projections are showing that more than half the US workforce could be doing some kind of freelance work by 2027. So that old definition of job security is being rewritten, and the responsibility for staying relevant, well, it's falling more and more on our own shoulders. Okay, so with all this disruption, how in the world do we figure out which skills will actually matter? To get a clear answer, we can look at a field where the stakes are literally life and death, a profession that's already dealing with these changes head-on: healthcare. And the question here is fascinating. When an AI can scan millions of medical images way faster than a human, and sometimes even more accurately, what does a doctor's job even look like? See, it's not about human versus machine. It's about what it takes to be a human plus a machine. To find out, researchers went on a deep dive, a massive one. They started with a huge pool of scientific research. We're talking nearly 2,500 articles, all about AI and healthcare. And this wasn't just a quick search, okay? It was a super rigorous process. They had this whole system for filtering out all the duplicates and the irrelevant studies, basically weeding out all the noise to zero in on the data that really mattered. So after sifting through all those thousands of articles, guess how many were left that specifically laid out the skills a doctor needs to work with AI? Just 7. That number alone tells you everything, doesn't it? It shows just how brand new this territory is, and that there's not a lot of guidance out there yet. But here's the really cool part. From just those 7 studies, a very clear pattern started to emerge. Researchers were able to put together a blueprint of 5 essential skills. And this is the key takeaway. These skills aren't just for doctors. They are a model for anyone who wants to stay relevant in a world powered by AI. You can see right here in the data, there's a clear ranking of what's most important. The bigger the box, the more critical the skill. And notice how 2 areas just dominate the chart: understanding AI fundamentals and all the ethical and legal stuff that comes with it. So what does AI fundamentals actually mean? Well, this is crucial. It does not mean you need to become a coder or a math genius. The research is very clear about this. You don't have to build the AI. You have to be a smart, critical user who can ask the right questions, like, is this tool accurate? Can I rely on it? Is it right for this situation? The other core skills really build on that foundation. You need to be able to navigate all the tricky ethical questions, everything from patient privacy to algorithmic bias. You need to know enough about data to make sure the AI isn't working with garbage. And you've got to evaluate these new AI tools with the same tough, critical eye you'd use for anything else in your profession. And maybe this is the most important piece of the whole puzzle. As AI starts to handle more of the routine stuff, the uniquely human skills, they become more valuable than ever. This quote just says it all. The goal of this technology isn't to replace human connection. It's to free us up to do it better. Empathy and communication, they become a superpower. Okay, so let's zoom out. Because what we learn from the AI doctor isn't really about medicine, it's a blueprint for everybody. Those skills, critical thinking, ethical judgment, great communication, those are the new universal requirements for having a sustainable career. This is a huge shift in how we need to think about work. So in the past, learning was centered on your company, right? The company decided what you needed to know for your job, and they gave you the training. But the future, it's person-centered. It is now up to you, the individual, to look ahead, to see what the market needs, and to get the skills that'll keep you employable for your entire career, not just for the job you have today. This new reality really comes down to two key ideas: upskilling and reskilling. Upskilling is about adding new skills to stay competitive in your current role. Think of a graphic designer learning new AI image tools. Reskilling is bigger. That's learning new skills to move into a completely new role. And honestly, both are going to be essential. So what this all means is that the power and, the responsibility is now in your hands. Success in the future of work is going to belong to the self-directed learner. You are now the CEO of your own career curricular. So what does this process actually look like? Well, first, you've got to figure out what skills are actually in demand. Then you need to be really honest with yourself and identify your own gaps. From there, you go find ways to learn: an online course, a certification, a side project, whatever works. And finally, you have to actually do the work and keep track of your progress. The whole thing really rests on you. And make no mistake, this isn't just a trend, it is a fundamental change in the relationship between employees and employers. As this research puts it so well, the responsibility for getting skills is shifting to us, the workers. That's the new contract for the future of work. So, if we all have to become lifelong learners, if we're all building our own personal curriculum to stay relevant and to stay employed, the final question is a personal one. The future is here, and it requires constant learning. So, what's on your curriculum?